right, welcome to another Friday night episode of Keto Rocks. I'm Jim Hobbs, and I think down below me or somewhere on your screen is Brian Damis Forsythe, my carnivore co-host.
I'm here somewhere.
He's here somewhere. And then on the screen, you see Brian Shanker from the MeatTribe, and then our returning special guest from late night in the heartland. I may be butchering all that up, but Jeff Daugherty, our buddy Jeff Daugherty, is on to give us an update. So Jeff, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks. Great to be here. And you got it exactly right. Nice to be here with the Bryans and with the Jim. And I'm with Brian. I'm all about hashtag eat your meat, baby. That's what it's all about.
Nice.
Brian is definitely dressed appropriately for today's recording. So
yes.
Awesome. Well, Brian Shanker, do you want to go ahead and real quick give us an update on your stuff? I know you got stuff to do. You want to give us a real quick update on what's happening in the meat deals of the week?
Yeah. Thank you. I feel left out. I should have worn my MeatTribe shirt. I didn't know Brian was going to have his brand on. So, but in any case, next time I'll do that. But so we're going to start off with 4 deals from Food Lion. I'm going to give you a few more deals this week because they're making up for the lack of deals last week in anticipation for 4th of July weekend. Food Lion's got some choice grade boneless ribeye steaks, and they have a little blurb in there on their ad. It says to ask them to cut it to your thickness preference. So if you see stuff laying out there that's just thin, ask the butcher to give you a 2-inch steak if you want it.
You just put a smile on Damage's face. Look at that.
Yeah, they'll cut it for you. But that deal is $8.99 a pound. And they've also are running their Nature's Promise meat and seafood. So that's their, I guess what they're going to say is their healthier grass-fed type options. The Nature's Promise meat and seafood is 25% off. And they've also got a choice grade beef chuck roast at $5.49 a pound. And I know all you smokers out there, we're talking grilling and smoking, not anything else there, guys. They've got some whole Boston pork butts at $1.59 a pound. All those Food Lion deals are running through the 6th of July. So you've got some time to get those, but those are some really nice deals. Aldi, you're going to be heading out to Aldi, Jim. They've got 73% lean ground beef, a 5-pound package at $1.79 a pound. That's
You're absolutely correct. I'm there.
That's going to come out just under $9 for the whole package. I'm going there too. And then Harris Teeter is really making it hard for all those other stores with all the deals that they have going on for 4th of July weekend. Sorry, the Aldi deal runs through the 6th of July as well. And that pork butt, I forgot to mention that pork butt at Food Lion, they're limiting you to 2. So you can only buy 2 of those. So back to Harris Teeter. They have their rancher grade boneless ribeye steaks. They've got a value pack and a small pack. The value pack's coming in at $9.99 a pound, saving you $7 per pound. And the small pack is $10.49 a pound, saving you $6.50 a pound. They've also got some choice grade boneless ribeye steak or roast. And the difference is the rancher is going to have less marbling in it than the choice grade. So the choice grade boneless ribeye steak or roast is $10.99 a pound, and that's a $7 savings per pound. And they've also got a Smithfield all natural Boston butt pork roast at $1.29 a pound. So you've got 2 stores, whichever one you're closest to. If you're going to go out there and buy a pork butt to roast, you've got a couple options there. We had talked about this before. I don't do much seafood, but I told you about those wild-caught Argentina shrimp. They've got a deal going on. Buy 1 bag of the 16-20 count, and you get 2 for free. Wow. As soon as we get off the call here, I'm headed to Harris Teeter, and where else was I going? Aldi to get the ground beef. So I'm headed out there today to those 2 stores.
Hey, wow, Brian, with all those deals, you need another shirt that says "Eat your butt."
I'll put that on the back. That'll be on the back side. So real quick, I wanted, because we've touched on this before, I'm always telling everybody the USDA grade. Harris Teeter does have a couple of grades that they've come up, which is their Rancher, and they've got one other one. But really, the three main USDA grades are going to be Select, Choice, and Prime. And that's really talking in short to the amount of marbling. And we all know the amount of marbling, the fat, is what gives it its flavor. So you're going to pay more for Prime than you are for Select, and Prime's going to be have more marbling, so more flavor. But I get it. People are in budget. They have budgets. That's why I'm here to give you guys all these deals, so you can find good, juicy cuts of beef out there and meats, and just great deals to take advantage of.
Well, hey, it's 4th of July. We're approaching 4th of July. For $1.79 for hamburger meat, I don't care what it is. It could be 60-40. You know,
Yes.
That's some protein for you. Go out and get that. That's a great deal at Aldi. So yes, I will be heading out there and picking up some ground beef for myself.
Nice. So that's all I've got for you guys this week.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Brian. And if people want to reach out to you, make sure you go to his YouTube channel, MeatTribe, and it's spelled just like his background is. And you'll be able to get more updates on his channel because he goes with more elaborate deals that he can't go on here. But check out his channel, give him a like, subscribe to his channel, and as always, we thank you and have a great 4th there, Brian.
Thank you. You guys too. Have a great one. See you next time.
See you next week. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Well, that's some great deals for everybody. The 4th of July, you know, go out there and take advantage of that. I actually just I just came from Costco, and my short ribs, which I've been complaining about how expensive they are. I don't know. I didn't know Costco cuts their deals, but you know, the short ribs that are sliced sideways, the way you do not like them, Brian, the Korean ones that I like, they've been $11.99 a pound. Well, today I stopped by there. They're all $11.99 a pound, but there was one sitting on top for $5.99 a pound.
Wow.
And so I was like, so it was half the price of the other one. So I grabbed that one. So I was happy. That was my score of the day. So, but with that being said, I am amazed at our guest. For the last time we had him on, he was on keto. I forget how long you were on keto back when we first had you on, but
Not very long.
But how long have you been doing keto or carnivore now, Jeff?
Well, as soon as we get to August, it'll be a year. So I guess we're about 11 months now. And I just had, speaking of ribs, I had some friends come and visit me, and they had stopped in St. Louis at a place called Pappy's and brought some ribs. They were the best, meatiest ribs I've ever eaten. They were fantastic. So yeah, it's always great to get a good deal on ribs. Yeah, it's been about a year, and you know, I don't do anything halfway usually. So I've been as close to 0 carbs as you can get, and it's been a whole year, and I don't think I have cheated at all. So it's been, and I haven't wanted to cheat because just people have to understand, and you can't understand it until you feel it, the profound change that you have from being fueled by ketones rather than carbs. It's just amazing. And I think once you get it and really get it, very few people would ever go back.
I would totally agree with you. So what's some of the most profound changes that you've experienced over the last almost a year?
Well, obviously, anytime you lose over 50 pounds, just that weight loss is amazing. The reason I really started doing it is because, number one, I got tired of looking at the fat guy in the mirror, but I had, I played hockey for a lot of years as a goalie, and I was worried that my knee was going to have to be replaced. My hips were really, really killing me. I had very, very strong back pains, almost to the place of being debilitated. And I think, in fact, the last time that I was on the show, I was kind of hurting in my back and couldn't even sit up to get on the camera. So it's amazing, no drugs, no surgery, nothing but dropping 50 pounds. And you make amazing changes in your physiology because, my body, I'm only, about 5'11". I wasn't made to carry around 250 pounds. And with that weight gone, it's magic, guys. No more knee pain, no more back pain, no more hip pain. And along with the weight loss, there's just an amazingly profound clarity and focus of mind and thought. And for those out there that are spiritual, whether you're of a Christian realm or other realms, if you call them the spiritual gifts, or if you call them, whatever your gifts that you move in, amazingly improvements in your clarity, again, with things spiritual, understanding, whether you call it your blink or getting information from wherever you get it. It comes through clear, it comes through louder with much less effort. And it's just, you're just optimized. That's the only thing I can think of. It's your body running the way it's meant to run. And when you're physically optimized, then you're mentally optimized, and also emotional stability. I've had in the past, I can have a little bit of a temper, but that has really gone away as well. And then you have the spiritual optimization on top of it, which for me is really the ultimate goal. And if you can be around here longer, you have a chance to do more good. So it's been a home run for me, and I'm really about ready to become an evangelist of sorts, that there is a carbohydrate conspiracy, and it's being run by people that don't want us to be optimized across all those dynamics and want to keep us, locked in their fear and guilt control matrix.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I don't think Brian and I have talked about this. I don't think I've talked about it with anybody actually, but I don't know if you've been to your grocery store or wherever you purchase your meats, Jeff. I know Brian and I've discussed this, but prices are have increased by like 40% over the last couple months. And I was actually at a Food Lion, just popped in there, and the guy from the butcher was out there restocking his shelves, and they were pretty sparse. And he was telling me, he goes, "Man, can you believe how much prices are?" I said, "No, I'm just looking at it." He said, "Yeah, this is from his mouth." He goes, "Yeah, they've gone up 40%. He goes, "We're not even able to get enough meat for me to be able to stock my shelf here." So I know it looks sparse, but that's all I got coming into me. It's been like that for a while. And I started thinking about, why is that? Why? I mean, I don't think cows died during this COVID thing. I mean, there should be just as much meat as there was prior to the so-called pandemic. But, could it be a conspiracy? Could it be the fact that they're trying to get you to buy the plant-based proteins that now stocking the meat shelves with, because that's where they want to lead us to? And so it's just a thought. You said that triggered my mind going down that path, because it's amazing to me that you walk into any grocery store now and go back to their meat section. It's really hard to tell if you're buying real meat or plant-based protein to look like meat. Sausages, hamburgers, you really got to look at the labels now to make sure you're actually buying a cow.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I don't think it's a conspiracy, Jim. I think it's conspiracy is the word that they try to tag on things that they don't want anybody to figure out and understand. And there's no doubt that, there is here in the heartland, we haven't seen that really yet, but there is. I know I talked to people on the radio, across the country and across the world on the video platforms, and they are reporting meat shortages, and they're also obviously reporting meat increases. And all of these, you got Bill Gates buying all this farmland. You got Bill Gates behind one of those fake meat brands, the one that Burger King uses. I can't remember the name of it, Beyond Meat or something, whatever it is. And there's no doubt that there is definitely a agenda by the powers that be, but are passing away, in my opinion, if we do our job, that they do want to get us off of meat. They do want to turn us all into, if you'll forgive the term, soy boys and soy girls. Because again, it's not, do they care at the end of the day what we eat? Probably not. But do they care if we're less optimized? Do they care if we're less mentally clear? Do they care if we're less physically fit? Do they care if we're less spiritually tuned in? Of course they do. And I take it with an optimistic view, Jim and Brian. I think that the cabal, if you will, knows that they're in their last throes. They know that they are about to lose. And this is a part of their last great ditch effort to take down as many of us as they can. Because with, folks like Keto Rocks and all the stuff we try to do, we are getting people to realize, hey, there really is something going on. I don't want it to happen. And I think it's time for the divine, sovereign, and free people to rise up. And I see victory in our near future, not without a fight, not without some hard times, but I see victory in our future. And I'm very optimistic. And I think that, your show helping people to get out of the carbohydrate conspiracy and learn how to be fueled like I think a human's supposed to be fueled with the ketones will be part of this great movement of getting people back to true and free liberty.
Great point. Talking about, back in the caveman days, when they killed an animal, brought it back and cooked it, they gathered around as a community, and the community just wasn't what blood, it was your community.
Right.
And you know, one of the things that what I see in the keto carnivore community is that when you truly do get off the sugar plantation, you're able to wean yourself off of that. You are able to think clearer. You think your whole demeanor, your whole behavior does change, I believe. And, you know, you start to go back to your roots of what's really important. The reality of what's important is, you know, we are the only creature on this planet Earth that pays to be here. When the reality of it is, I mean, gold doesn't mean anything. Paper money that's supposed to have value really means nothing to your survival. What has survival is the water, the air, and what you eat. That's what's survival. And, you know, if we truly take time to think about that, what does money and gold have to do with anything, except for the fact that the world tries to make that the focus of what we should be focused in on, and take you the true necessities of life, which is breathing and the simplistic things. And it's so cool to see the people in the Keto Rocks community gather together and truly share meals together, break bread together, so to speak, who weren't friends a year ago, but are now gathering together and traveling and sharing that commonality and encouragement of one another. And so, you know, and you're seeing their lives, how they're living their lives manifested about how they look, how they're living out their lives. And as you said just now, Jeff, they're having an impact within their community, within their own family members, within their friends, with their coworkers. People are noticing a difference. Like when you came on the show today, huge difference from the last time we had you on, and you were looking good then. You were, you know, trajectory was in the right direction, and now, you know, you're definitely seeing the what you've been doing secretly manifest itself in public. So
I appreciate that, Jim. And I need to give a shout out too to a guy on YouTube, a very amazing young man. His name is Igor Watinko. It starts with a V, but he's Russian, so he pronounces it like it's a W. Igor Watinko. It's all free. He has just body weight based workouts, push-ups, and things of that nature. And I've been through his 30-day program twice now. And I mean, if I took my shirt off, you would be like, whoa, it is just. And when you combine that with the keto eating, and then of course, I think all of us are practitioners of intermittent fasting too. You know, we're not eating, 3-4 meals a day typically. And you get into this body weight. And again, I think that's another secret. They all want us to go to the gym. They all think we got to, be like Arnold and pump all this weight. But if you just use your body weight, you can make profound changes in your fitness and you become functionally fit. And Brian, I just had a question pop in my mind. You're a musician, and when you went, can you remember back to when you started going keto? And do you remember if there was any changes in your ability to write, your ability to pray, or not pray, but play? Was there any changes in your actual abilities and capabilities?
Well, I've been doing this for so long. It's hard to tell, if there was any. It was very subtle, but just for me personally, I can put together a sentence now. I mean, I would forget words in the middle of sentences and couldn't complete sentences. And yeah, my mind is a lot sharper now.
That's amazing. I've experienced that myself in a very profound way. And even, Cynthia's like, wow, it's almost like you're a different person. It sounds, crazy, but when you're not running on chemicals you shouldn't be running on, and when you're running on what your body is meant to run on. And I mean, I've even had fitness guys that call themselves fitness professionals tell me, oh, that's terrible. You can't just run on ketones. You got to have the carbohydrates. And I tried their program for a year and nothing happens. And as soon as I do what we're supposed to do, and I got to make a confession. I thought you guys were a little bit crazy. I mean, what do you mean I'm not supposed to eat any vegetables? That sounds crazy. But I tell you what, when I went to just keto carnivore, I eat very few vegetables now, and that has made a significant positive difference too. And, you know, the whole food pyramid and you got to have your veggies, but no, I mean, it's been very, very powerful for me. And do you guys supplement with any of those like green drinks or anything like that, or do you just roll?
Nah.
I don't, but we had our guest on last week talking about the fiber. So I'll confess. So I literally bought fiber that had one ingredient, which was that
The psyllium?
Psyllium husk. That's the only ingredient was in it. So I bought that. I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to. I'm probably going to do a 72-hour fast where that's all I'm going to take is that. So see if I can't get get myself cleaned out. Well, I don't know what I clean out from, but so yeah, so I've just done that. So I haven't done it yet, but I plan on doing it just to see if I feel a difference in my intestinal area. Or
you know, and on that point, Jim, when you think about us as what we are, you know, through the history of humanity, we've been hunter-gatherers, you know, we've been moving around, and our I think our natural diet is what we're doing, keto carnivore. And if you're thinking about elimination, just think about if you're out there in that situation, and I've noticed this in my life, and it's a little gross, but I think it does go to what we're talking about. If you're out in the wild and you have to, you know, squat down and eliminate, you're very vulnerable at that moment. And also you're leaving things that will allow you to be tracked by people that can track you where you are. And it's been my experience. I would welcome you guys to tell me if this is typical. It's been my experience that you don't eliminate as much as before, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but yet you feel better. So that's actually, as I look at it through an anthropological lens, that's really an advantage. You're not vulnerable as often, and you don't leave trails. And I think that you're actually eliminating just waste. You're not eliminating excess.
Yeah, you're absorbing most of it.
Exactly, Brian. Exactly.
Yeah, which means you're eating what you're supposed to eat and you're getting all the nutrients out of it.
Absolutely. Now, this is a little gross, but I have had a history of participating in what's called urine therapy. You know, you drink your urine. I know it's kind of gross, but when you're eating the carbs and stuff, when you're eating a diet that's not optimal for humans, there is a lot of excess in your urine, and you're missing out. And that's why a lot of people get a profound positive effect by drinking their urine. But, you know, I'm not a doctor, but if you are eating keto carnivore, I'm saying don't drink your urine, because in that case, it is all waste, and you don't want that. There is no excess anymore. Your body, like Brian says, is using and metabolizing and getting all of the stuff that it needs. So you don't want to be doing, there's a fancy Indian word for it that starts with an A. I can't remember what it is right now, but you don't want to be doing that, in my opinion, if you're keto carnivore. So let that one go. And if you have to give up drinking your urine, it's really not that big of a loss, I don't think.
Oh, how do you get a hook on that? I'm not even gonna go there. But,
well, I mean, if you're eating the way you're not supposed to eat, and I started doing it when I started fasting a little bit, and I mean, you see your skin clear up. I got a little fly in here. It really does. I mean, they've been doing it for thousands of years, Jim. So it does have some benefits, but it's like, you know, it's trying instead of, you know, it's trying to plug a leak in a boat with, you know, duct tape instead of getting it done right. You know, what you really need to do is just start eating the right thing, and you don't have to worry about that stuff anymore. And plus, it's not fun. I don't care what anybody says. It's not fun to drink your pee.
Yeah, I don't know, it was on your channel, but I saw some video of some woman. That's what she did. And her kids actually were coming to her because she was trying to overcome cancer. And that's what she did. She would drink it. She put it on her eye. She bathed in it. And it was, and I mean, it seemed to work to a certain extent, but
it does. It seems to, but I think it's when you're not, it's a Band-Aid instead of going to fixing the cause.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think going carnivore truly makes your body into a recycling machine. So you're utilizing everything that you're intaking, and you're truly mirroring what, you know, like the water that's in the universe. You're just recycling it, which shows you that you're doing what you should be doing. It's how we were designed to be. So
has your sleep cycle been affected, either one of you, by going to a keto carnivore type lifestyle?
God, that's a good question.
I sleep less. That's why I ask, and feel even more rested.
I typically, my body seems to be in tune with the sun. So the sun goes, as soon as the sun starts to go down, my melatonin must have kick in because I'm ready to go to bed. I don't care what time it is. The sun starts to go down, so am I. But I'm always able to, wanted to wake up between 3:30 and 6 o'clock is always my window of waking up. And whatever that is, I feel totally ready to get up and go. So I'm, you know, from that standpoint, energy wise, I feel great in the morning. I don't, you know, that's probably the biggest difference that I notice is when I get up in the morning, I don't have the need to go drink coffee. You know, I don't have that need anymore. I just wake up, I'm clear headed. I'm ready to go tackle the day, whatever that may be. And I don't know about Brian.
Brian, I'm going to guess you don't go to bed when the sun goes down.
No, I don't. But I do go to bed earlier than I used to. I mean, I used to go to bed when the sun was coming up.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be stereotypical. But I mean, I still drink coffee because I love coffee. And that's probably my one little fudge. Maybe it's the reason I used to love cereal. And think about that. They teach they've taught all of our generation since cereal was invented to get up and just carb and sugar load yourself at the beginning of the day. And of course, it dumps your insulin, dumps the sugar, your body stores it all as fat. And really, your belly steals your breakfast because you're not getting any. And I stole that from Butter Bob. Do you guys know Butter Bob on YouTube?
I do not know Butter
He's
Bob.
a keto guy too. And he's all about butter makes your pants fall off if you don't worry about fat and eat meat. And he doesn't like me, but he's still got a lot of good information. And they're in the food pyramid, they're teaching us eat carbs, eat carbs, eat carbs. And it's exactly the wrong advice. And it just blows my mind. I forgot where I was going with that, but anyway.
Well, you know, I just came from Wally World or Walmart, and you know, they have these big bags. I mean, huge bags of cereal now. They got a whole aisle of them, like Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch. I mean, they're like 50-pound sacks of potatoes.
Like industrial sized. Yeah.
Industrial
Exactly.
size, because, you know, and you see the people who go down that aisle and you can see a noticeable difference. I'm not judging anybody, I don't do that, but you can see the outcome of what they're doing by purchasing those types of foods and what it's doing to their bodies. They do not look healthy. They're overweight. They're tired. My guess is they have to take other drugs just to get through the day. Absolutely. Or other stimulants just to get through the day. And it's so sad to see, but you're right. I mean, you if you could just take a breath and look at what happens when our kids go off to school. We're supposed to trust our kids to go to a school. And what does the school feed them? Same thing, carbohydrates. They feed them crap. And, you know, I grew up that way. So I was raised on Captain Crunch, Pop-Tarts, and became a not knowing it, I was raised as a sugar addict. I love sugar, and I had to eat through the day. If it wasn't for my, you know, being an athlete at that time, always, you know, running it off and having multiple practices, I would have ballooned up easily. Yep. You know, that's why I think people who were able to get away with it in their teens and early 20s, as you start to approach 30 and you're not working out as much, you start to put on those pounds, those LBs in the midsection, and then you start feeling a little bit lethargic, and then you go to work, and, you know, we've talked about this many times. Then you got to, you know, I got to leave at dark 30 to get to my job, and then you drive through a fast food restaurant. What do? They feed you bread.
And they got donuts at work.
Yep, and they give you donuts at work,
and pizza.
Even at pizzas, and even at the cancer centers where you're supposed to go there to treat yourself, they're feeding you the exact substance that
the cancer.
That feeds the cancer.
It's crazy.
And you have to ask yourself why is this? I mean, we're either have to admit that we're all addicts because we were raised that way, or that we were programmed by the powers to be to do that. Because I know as a kid, when I go to the dentist, when you get done, what do? They give you gum. They give you candy to say, hey, great job.
You go to the bank, they give you a lollipop.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the sugar conspiracy is far and wide. But, well, you know, go ahead, Brian.
Well, it's all based on profits, you know. And
it is.
You just follow the money, you know.
Yeah. And if you think about it too, carbohydrates affect and stimulate the same exact portions of your brain that cocaine and heroin and all these drugs affect too. So at the end of the day, the bottom line is carbohydrate is just another C, like crack and cocaine. And it's life is best lived without those C's, those
Yeah.
CCs, if you will.
Yeah, and they start them early too. I mean,
They do.
that's why all the kids' foods are just loaded with
And my one big surprise, guys, in this year almost of being keto carnivore is the fact that I thought I never thought I would eat 3 pizzas a week. I never thought I could give up pizza, but I don't really miss it. I never thought I could give up ice cream. I never thought I could give up my cereal, Brian, was Lucky Charms. When I ate Lucky Charms, it wasn't a bowl of Lucky Charms. It was a box of Lucky Charms.
right.
And I see a pecan pie. I'm from the South. I love pecan pie, but yet I don't have any cravings for that stuff. I thought I would. And then when I do get Jones in a little bit, I just go on to Brian's channel, and I haven't written it down yet, but I get that keto cheesecake, and that takes care of it, baby. It's good stuff.
You know, you're bringing back memories, because I remember Saturday mornings as a child, I would get a box of cereal and a big bowl and a big half-gallon of milk, and I would sit and watch cartoons all Saturday morning, and I would just eat that cereal the whole time.
I love that little leprechaun.
Those marshmallows and yes.
Yeah, man.
Or whatever they were.
Yeah, who knows what they were.
Horrible. But that keto cheesecake that you got on your channel, Brian, that thing is delicious. It's very satisfying, and it's remarkably low carbs, per serving. What a great thing. I did also, I think, was it you, Jim, that sent me the peanut butter chocolate brownies? They're good, but if I had the choice, I got to go with the cheesecake. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. No, the cheesecake's good, and his mocha espresso keto ice cream is good too.
I never tried that. I'll have to get back on the channel.
Yeah,
that's a home run as well.
Excellent.
But people are hearing you for the first time, Jeff. Before you went keto a year ago, what was you and Cynthia? What was a normal day for you guys to eat? Did you guys have breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What was your dietary habits?
The one thing I guess I kind of do miss a little bit is I love pancakes and waffles. Love pancakes and waffles. So I would get up in the morning, and I would typically have a couple eggs, like a grand slam at Denny's. I'd have a couple eggs, I'd have a couple bacon, and I would have some pancakes. Love pancakes, love French toast. Those are my things. And we always had the Lucky Charms, always did. And Cynthia always ate pretty healthily. She's a very in shape girl. She always ate pretty well. And I would eat good stuff. I didn't eat terrible food, but I was definitely hooked on the carbs, and I would eat, conservatively 3 pizzas a week. And I'm not talking about a couple slices of pizza. I'm talking about half a pizza. My idea of fitness was trying to fitness pizza all in my mouth. So I had lots and lots of pizza, lots and lots of bread, lots and lots of ice cream, sweets. And then, you're grazing the whole day. You're eating some candy bar here, you're eating chips there. And one thing I will say is, in the last year, I'll bet whoever owns and produces pork rinds has noticed an uptick in the worth of their company, because I eat a lot of pork rinds, and they're delicious.
I have a whole cabinet full.
I saw that. Yeah. Last time we were on, but I basically had your all-American diet, but it was heavy on carbs, heavy on pizza. And that's why I got to 250 pounds, because I was eating all of those carbs. And when you eat it's kind of like a vicious circle, because you eat all those carbs and you feel sedentary, and you just sit around, and then you eat more carbs, and that makes you want to sit around, and then you eat more carbs, and all of a sudden you're 250 pounds, and your knees hurt, your back hurts, and your hips are killing you. And you're like, what am I going to do? I just turned 58. I'm going to be in a wheelchair by the time I'm 68. And now, a year later, I guess I was 57 back then, but a year later, I literally feel better. I can't remember feeling this good except back to high school. I'm probably in better shape, look better, feel better and am more functionally fit than I've ever been in my life at 58 years old. Now, I know I look sexy, and it's hard to believe I'm 58, but I am.
No,
If I could play guitar like Brian, my life would be complete.
Well, maybe that's in your future.
No, I don't think so. I can't even play the radio, Jim.
Well, you say that, and I want people to hear what you're saying, because I was the very same way. I think I've said this before on the show, but a roommate of mine back in my 20s, we would at a place called Brothers Pizza. We would order 2 pizzas for $22, and we would each sit there and get some videos from Merrill's and watch a movie every night and eat a whole pizza a piece. And much like you, I get up, I love pancakes, I love eggs, I love bacon, I love sausage. I eat the whole thing. And then, when I went to the adult world where I had to drive to my job, I'd stop by McDonald's or Burger King, pick up a bunch of fast food sandwiches, whatever is the 2 for $2, whatever it was.
Yep.
And then as soon as I get to work, I'm snacking, I'm eating something. Then it's lunchtime, I'm eating something. And when you hear someone talk about fasting or just eating 1 meal a day or getting off that, your mind or your ego says, we can't do that. And you really go, you don't even want to entertain that thought. And so when you actually, whatever switch goes off in you that says, you know what, I think I'm going to give this a shot. And then you've done it for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and all of a sudden you start to notice difference. And you start
those
to notice,
first 3 days can be a little tough,
rough.
though.
Yep.
Let's don't lie to people. I mean, it's real. Those first 3 days, little bit of a struggle.
Yes, no doubt about it. It's a struggle. And I think one of the studies says that sugar addiction is 5 or 8 times greater than heroin.
And you feel that withdrawal when you first come off of it.
Yeah, you get the headaches, you get the shakes, you're detoxing from a drug.
Cravings. Yeah, the cravings are the worst.
They are. They're really strong.
And so, then when you finally break through that, then you're like, for whatever reasons, you start to think, wow, I'm starting to feel better. I don't feel like laying on the couch and just surfing the TV all day long, or believing that, oh, this is all life has got. I'm 50 years old now. I'm just going to have to, this is part of getting old. But when you make that switch, your body wants to, like you, Jeff, man, I want to start working out again. You want to start working out. You want to start, what else is there to make me, I love this.
I did things as simple, Jim and Brian, as, we were paying somebody like, I don't know, we got a big yard, like $300 a month to mow the yard. And I'm like, I want to go mow the yard. I don't mow it all at once, but I'll mow, the front, back, side. And I enjoy being out there. And Cynthia hates it, but I like to go barefoot. I know it's dangerous, but I'm connected to the earth. I'm mowing the lawn. I'm feeling great. And plus I got $300 more every month.
Yes. That buys a lot of meat.
That'll buy a lot of meat. And it's, if people would we got to come up with some kind of a challenge to, the 90-day or 93-day challenge or something. If you can just get to day 3, you'll never go back. It's so powerful. And you know what really, this ticks me off. Let me vent a little bit. I am so mad at these guys that they're trying to fake keto. They got, take these keto pills. They're just dumping the ketones, the MCT or whatever into people. And they get to eat the same crap. And then they get the ketone rush. It's cheating and it's bad for you. And I hate it. I hate it. It just bothers me every time I hear it. And Brian, I saw you shake your head. You're like, you must feel me.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what they do. They dump the ketones into it, and then they give you the little pee strips, and you pee on it, and it's like, oh look, and it has nothing to do with keto.
Nothing.
It's just the color of the pee strip, that.
Exactly, and they sell it as keto without having to give up carbs. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and if you want, that's the problem. I used to be in this all black church back when I was a young little whippersnapper as a preacher. And they had this saying that if you want the power, you got to pay your bills. And if you want to get to physical, mental, emotional, spiritual optimization, there is a cost. There is a price. You have to pay, and nothing that you get easily. And if you get it too easily, you value it too lightly. And it's like people right now that'll sit home because the government's going to give them a check, instead of going out and working. I make the same amount of money working. Man, my dad, even me, I'm not that old. We would never have sat at home and got paid $15 an hour when we could go down and have a job for $15 an hour. There's something about working and having the self-respect that you actually will work instead of sit at home. And that mindset has got to be aided by the carbohydrate conspiracy, by getting us fat and dumb and stupid. And let's face it, it's easier to control unhealthy, unarmed peasants. And I think that's what they're trying to do. But it's with folks like you, we're going to help turn this thing around, and we're going to take our sovereignty, our divinity, and our freedom back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Talking about taking freedom back, Brian, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the Freedom Festival that you guys played out last weekend. Give everybody an update of what your Kix shows out in North Dakota and Colorado was last week.
Oh, man, I wish I knew you were out there. We're not too far. I would have come and seen you.
Well, the weather wasn't too cooperative, but that was a challenge. But we did pull off the shows, and overall it was a success. But the North Dakota show, that was up in Dickinson, North Dakota. It was out on it was like they call it, the festival's called the First on First Festival, which is First Street in Dickinson. And they close off the street, and there's a stage put up at the end. And I mean, it's a nice crowd, but right after sound check, there was like this downpour, and there was no roof on the stage, so they had to put tarps over everything. And then the warm up band couldn't go on. They were supposed to play, I forget how long they were going to play a long set before, because they were kind of entertaining the people that were already in the street, and they had to hold off. They only got to play like a half hour, I think, before we went on. And then we go on, and it's just you could feel a few sprinkles here and there, but nothing, no big deal. So we played our set, but down near the end, it started getting a little more and a little more. And finally, the promoter guy, he came up and he goes, you may want to cut it short because I think there's a storm coming. So we cut a couple songs out, and we went right to the last two songs of the set to finish out. And by the time we got to that last song, it was steady, just rain. I mean, it wasn't a downpour, but it was definitely
you got wet, and your equipment got wet.
So by the time we got off stage, we had to like scramble, and they had to pull the tarps back out, and I was trying to pack my stuff up underneath the tarp. And so anyway, that was that show. And then the next day was a travel day, and our flight ended up getting postponed. We were supposed to leave at 4:00. We didn't get out of there till maybe close to 8:30, I think.
Wow.
Because we were going to Denver the next night, and Denver was having these horrendous storms on Friday. So anyway, we finally get to Denver, and then the next day is the Freedom Fest, which was at the fairgrounds. So it was a really nice, big open area. But of course, it was raining again and cold. I couldn't believe it. It's just it's kind of, we call it the Kix cloud. Like it can be in the middle of summer, and when we play, it's cold and rainy. So the whole time we were playing, luckily that stage was covered, so it didn't really affect us. The crowd had to stand out in it, but it rained the whole time we were on stage. And as soon as we got done, it cleared up. It was still cold, but at least the rain stopped. But it was like, man.
Guys ushered into sunshine.
Yeah, but it was good. I mean, the crowd loved it, and we still got to play, which is, after a year of not playing, it's nice to play again.
Awesome. Now tonight you guys are headlining at the M3 Festival. So is there tickets still available, or is that sold out? Or do you know?
I do not know.
Where is that?
That's in Columbia, Maryland, at Merriweather Post Pavilion.
Gotcha. Is there a website, Brian, for Kix so people can figure out where you guys are going to be and when?
Yeah, there's it's called kixband.com.
One X or two?
Just one.
Okay.
Let me make sure there's no hyphen in that. Let me look it up real quick.
All right.
But we're also, oh no, it's no hyphen. It's just kixband.com.
All right. Awesome. And I'm really looking forward to meeting you gentlemen at the next month.
Yeah, Keto Rocks Retreat. Yes,
August, I guess.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I mean, tomorrow's next month, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Tomorrow is July 1st.
Yeah, we're looking forward to heading out there. We got all the information, and the room looks great. The venue looks great. And, that's the good and bad about, the world we're in. I consider you guys my friends, but yeah, we never met. So it's really cool to actually be able to shake your hand, hug your neck, meet you. And I'm really looking forward to it.
It's gonna be a great weekend, and it's so amazing how many people are flying out from the West Coast, coming out to the East
we're not
Coast.
flying. We're gonna drive. We don't want to put on the mask, so we can't get on an airplane. So we'll drive over, and I've got a couple of kids in Virginia, so we're gonna make a little trip out of it and have a good time.
Well, we're looking forward to having you. It's gonna be a great time, and I know you're gonna have some good rib eyes, and you'll get a chance to
can't wait.
hear more of the recipes in person and share recipes with other people. So it's gonna be a great time.
Absolutely. Are you gonna have like some printed recipes that people can take with them, or do I need to bring my notes?
I would say bring a notebook, but we'll try to put together some recipes as well. I'll try to put some.
Idea. But I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. You really gave me that final push to say, hey, give it a shot. And I mean, literally, you have helped me change my life. And it's just awesome to be where I am today versus where I was then. And anybody can do it. I mean, I was basically 250 pounds, maybe a tad over, feeling sick and bad. And now, I mean, I'm still not Adonis, but I think I've extended my lifespan, and I've definitely made my life more effective and more productive. And it gives you an opportunity to serve more people if you can stay around and be in better health while you're here.
Now, here's the real question for you. Is Cynthia happier with you living this lifestyle? And is she living this lifestyle with you?
She pretty much does. She can't do, or at least she doesn't think she can do straight keto. She still will eat some vegetables, but she's very slim and pretty anyway, but she's healthy. She's happy. If I could get her to do the polar plunging, Jim, I think it would change her life, but she's still hesitant on that. But yeah, Cynthia's a lot happier with me, the way I act, with me, the way I am. And she kind of likes the way I look these days too.
Wow,
so
look at it. Get
nice.
Some guns. Look at that. That's awesome. Well,
it's been a home run, man, all the way around.
Well, listen, if you want to live this lifestyle, if you're watching this show for the first time, Brian, what would you suggest somebody does?
I would say eat your meat.
Eat your meat.
All right. Well, Jeff, thanks for being on the show again. We'll look forward to seeing you in August. And for everybody out there, stay safe, stay well, and stay out of that hospital. And we'll see you next Friday night, everybody.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.